Hey, what is up, guys? My name is Harrison Barron from Growth Generators. Now, in this video, I'm going to be doing a HubSpot tutorial. So if you are a new business owner, you're looking to use HubSpot, or you're not exactly sure what comes in the free version of HubSpot, this is the tutorial for you. I'm going to be covering pretty much everything that you get in the free version. So if you're curious to know whether or not it comes in there, how to use it, anything like that. So this is going to be great for new business owners if you're looking to start out. This is going to be great for if you've used HubSpot in the past and you're a little rusty because you took some time off. This is going to get you caught up. And ultimately, if you're bringing on a new employee and you just need to send them a training, this is going to be a great resource. You can drop them in here, and this should cover pretty much everything, especially if it's in the free version. Now, we'll eventually get into the paid versions and tiers and all that kind of stuff, but those will be much later on. Now, if this video goes longer than a half hour, I'm going to break these up into half-hour segments, so that way they're a little more digestible. And ultimately, in the show notes, or better yet, the description, I'm thinking I'm on a podcast here, you'll actually see what point or what each video is going to cover. So this is going to be more broad brush overview of the free version of HubSpot, how we deployed at our agency Growth Generators for our customers, and how we use it. It has massively shifted the way that we grow our business, how we talk to customers, right? It is a CRM, a customer relationship manager. So if you are, all of our customers are potential customers, we can manage those relationships and build relationships based on the marketing and things like that we're going to be doing. So this is the free version. This should give you a huge overview of everything that you're going to need to know. We have some sample data in here, and after this, we're going to be releasing smaller videos with much more in-depth either strategy or uploads or whatever it may be about HubSpot. So stay tuned. If this is something that interests you, before we even begin, you should definitely be hitting that like button so more people can see this, especially more small business owners. Hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell, so that way when we do release better and more in-depth videos, you'll be able to really tailor it and you'll be able to see these and implement those strategies, techniques, and grow your business as well. So without any further ado, let's jump into HubSpot here. And we have the wonderful HubSpot. So right when you jump in, you're going to be seeing your dashboard essentially, and you could go in and create these dashboards ultimately however you would like. So for us right now, I'm going to just totally skip this because each one of these dashboards can do something else depending on what you want to see as you jump in here and your role in the business. Otherwise, you could see your sales dashboards, your marketing dashboards, your service dashboards, and your CMS. Now, these are new. This is not something that they used to do or give you this many options, but now they're growing and things like that. But essentially, we're going to hit that back button. We're going to go back to the main view of HubSpot, and this is where you're going to live. So you'll have your name up here. You're going to have contacts, conversations, meetings, sales, service, automations, and reports. Now, there's going to be certain locks on all of these. So as I click these, you will start to see like social and SEO is locked under the professional hubs. Service is under the service hub, right? Sales is under the sales hub. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, you can't open sequences unless you have one of these. If there's multiple icons, that means you need to have at least one of those. So that is including the sales and service hub. If this is this is the professional packages, right? So keep in mind where it says that. So these are both professional now. If you had signed up for HubSpot a little while ago, sequences was included in Sales Starter, but they have since removed that. And then you have workflows, reports, and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get some contacts in here to ultimately help you grow your business. So right off the bat, you're going to have, these are going to be the two people that they give you. So you have Brian Halligan, which I believe is the CEO and founder of HubSpot, or one of them. And then you have Cool Robot, Sample Contact. And then you have all of your menu items. So you have Brian Halligan, you have My Contacts, right? So nobody is assigned to me currently. Just kidding. I already named myself. Unassigned Contacts, right? Cool Robot doesn't have it's unassigned. And you can see this right under Contact Owner. So if you're curious to know, who is what and all that kind of stuff, you can go right in here. You'll see email. If you click this email, it'll actually open up a new email for you. Phone number, if there's a phone number, you can click that and it'll dial, especially if you have your phone connected to your computer. You have lead status, create date, and then the contact owner. Now, depending on your role in the company, you may or may not see all of these. Some businesses restrict their employees from seeing all of this. As a super admin, which is what I am, you are the highest tier. You're basically telling HubSpot, hey, we own this, and we want to be able to do whatever we want to do. But if you have a salesperson, you might only want to have them do sales. If you have a marketing person, you might want them to only do marketing. So either way, you can either unassign me or Harrison Barron, which is me, as whoever's signed in at that current time. You have your create dates, right? When was this created? Last activity date. And these are just filters for data. So if you have huge subsets of 500 plus people, these are going to really help. So if you went to a networking event and you added everybody when you got home, but you forgot to email them, you can go back and see when when you added them and the create date, and then ultimately to reach out to those people. I'm definitely guilty of this because by the time you get home from a networking event, obviously there's a pandemic going on currently, but you can leave there and then say, hey, you know what, I'm going to do it tomorrow, and you'll be able to, or several days down the road and touch base with all these people. There's also more filters. These are all the pre-filled properties, or better yet, previously created properties by HubSpot. So the amount of data that's in here is tremendous, and you could also go in and add more or change some of these or add different things. For example, we've done quite a bit of customization for some people depending on what they're looking for, but city, close date, buying role, became an other life cycle data, became an opportunity date. The list is gender, graduation date. You name it, it's in here, and they all have pre-filled kind of different. It's kind of hard for me to explain, but basically everything in here is different, right? So if you have a date, it's only going to give you the options for dates, but if you have a yes/no box or a multi-check box or a radio button or anything like that, these are all done like that. So that way there's no thinking about it. It's all just pre-filled. So I'm not going to go in there and create anything currently. If you wanted to create a contact, this is where you would create a contact, right? So if I just added myself, Harrison Barron, Barron Media Group, which we are now Growth Generators. I'm still in the process of rebranding here. Job title, CEO. We have phone number. I'm not going to put my cell phone number in here. I'm just going to leave that blank for now. And then we have lead status. By the way, if you would like some help with this, please, like I said, leave a comment down below. We would love to help you. And then lead status. So is it a new, open, in progress, right? So sometimes you might talk to somebody with numbers and they're like, yep, let's do it. Send me over a proposal, and it could be in progress. You might realize that they're unqualified, attempted to contact, connected, bad timing, whatever those may be. And then you can create that person. So I'm just going to hit create person, right? And simple enough, there I am. Now, in here, you're not going to see any data, but you're going to see as much data as it can scrape from the internet. So I've put in my company. It's already pulled my company from the internet, so Barron Media Group. It's doing its best to connect all the dots. This also integrates with your website, so you can hit website activity. You have your list membership, attachments, playbooks. If you have playbooks, this is a locked feature. Obviously, there's a little lock there. Attachments, tickets, and deals. I will cover all of those, but for the sake of this, we are going to jump into one of their sample data so you can see. In this, we're going to use Brian Halligan, CEO of HubSpot. I was right. We have Brian, last name Halligan. We have email, bh@hubspot.com. Phone number, contact owner, last contacted. So this will automatically update every single time they're contacted. Life cycle stage, so lead, subscriber, marketing, qualified lead, opportunity, customer, evangelist, other. And then you can do lead status. So what is their lead status? Is it new, open, in progress? Like I said, right? Bad timing. And in here, you're going to see all the activity. So you're going to be able to see what's upcoming, what happened in February, what happened in April of 2020. Now, I've had this sample account because I've done several trainings on this. And you could go filter, right? These are all the filters that you can choose from. You could choose if you want to filter by user. So if you have a bunch of users in here and you were working with somebody or you're helping somebody and you want to see your old notes, you can come in here and you do that as well. Also, we have notes, right? So I've already entered test, but essentially this is where you can add a nearly unlimited amount of notes, and then I could just create more notes. It's going to give you a bunch of different options. So it's bold, italic, depending on your ability, how well you take notes. Underline, you have clear formatting. There's a more option. So you could even adjust the fonts inside of here. You have links, you have insert images, knowledge article. If you've created knowledge articles, snippets, attach files, and then associated with 2 other records, right? And here are the 2 other records. So this is Brian, right? And he's associated with HubSpot. And then if you want to create a follow-up task, huge. If you want to create a follow-up task, you can do tomorrow, and then I'm going to hit save note, more notes, and it's going to create a follow-up task for me. In here, you'd be able to see emails. So hello there, Brian. I heard about your company for cupcakes, right? Contacted, 0 contacts, date, 5:50 p.m. I mean, it logs everything. And the beautiful part is you can actually send your emails right from here. So you can connect your Gmail, you can connect your Office, and you can connect another email provider. So if you wanted to IMAP that, you're welcome to do that as well. Not everybody's going to be technical enough to do that, but for the most part, Gmail and Outlook are the two main players when it comes to emails. And they have a ton of knowledge-based articles in here where you can go in and just look for them, and they'll tell you how to do it. Calls, if you're going to make a phone call from here, the duration, the outcome seems interested, right? However many phone calls you do, you can pay for VoIP programs on here. And this is going to make your life way easier, especially if you're calling somebody. Now, when I make a phone call from HubSpot, I actually use my phone. I click it calls through my cell phone, and then I'll actually either jot notes down on my phone or I'll have them pulled up on my computer, and I'm typing the whole time either in notes or under the phone call area. Or if you want to log a call, when was the call? What was it about? What did you guys talk about? What was the outcome? Busy, connected, left voicemail, no answer, wrong number, dates, times. If you wanted to create up a follow-up task in 3 days, right? That was when you guys agreed upon. Who did you contact? Dates. I mean, it literally covers everything. That's the best part about it. Any tasks, right? So this is the task I just made. So it's going to let me know. And you could also select email notifications up in settings. That way, every time you make a task, somebody could, HubSpot will automatically email you, which makes your life a million times easier, saying, hey, so-and-so, you have to contact this person. This is the notes. You can actually click on it and it'll open that person with all the notes that you might need. And then any meetings that are coming up. So if you wanted to create a meeting, this is actually a new feature. This is not something that used to be there previously. So what's the meeting about? Attendee description, team notes, right? Anything that you might need. And when you connect your Office 365 calendar or your Google Calendar, it'll then update. This is cool. This is not something that used to be there several months ago. This is a new feature they've rolled out in the last, I'd say 6 months or so. And they're constantly working on it. That's the best part about it. You're going to have your deals. If you want to create a deal, you can create a deal here. And I'm going to show you the deals area as well. And this is typically, if I'm talking to somebody on the phone, I will put the deal in here. So if I wanted to do the amount, let's just say $5,000 for a digital marketing package per month. Deal type, right? New business. Who's the deal owner? Myself. Sales pipeline. It's going to lock multiple pipelines for you, but in the free version. But if you upgrade, you can have different pipelines. So if you have a sales pipeline, or you have a marketing pipeline, or if you have a bunch of different pipelines because of different services that you offer, phenomenal. Works very, very well. HubSpot Inc. Right? New deal. It's going to bring the name of the company. And then you'll be able to associate deal with. So obviously it's going to be a deal associated with HubSpot. The contact is going to be Brian. If you have a line item in here, which you can add a product library, you can create that all in here. And then associate existing. So if there's any existing information in here, this is obviously sample. So there's not any data in here, but I'm just going to do 5,000 again, and I'll be able to show you that deal in a few minutes. And you can create and add another. So if they want multiple different deals, depending on what you're selling, then that's a great area. Now, this is the deal area, and we're going to leave this for now, and we'll come back to this. You can just click over to the right. You'll be able to jump back into Brian, right? Any tickets you might have. If there is a signed agreement, you can add a signed agreement here. This is typically where I keep all really important documents for our customers. That way, it's just in one place. I can go in there, see anything, and if they say, hey, I didn't get this, well, here's the document, and I know it lives in one place. I don't need to search my Dropbox or anything like that. But this is essentially the customer panel. Now, as these people go to your website, you'll be able to see website activity, assuming you integrate it correctly. And you can see how many pages they viewed, depending on what service provider you use for your website. If you get the CMS from HubSpot, which is content management system, you'll be able to see, the data is absolutely incredible. If you're using another system such as WordPress, Wix, Webflow, or anything like that, it's a little less accurate, but it's still pretty good. I've seen people, and typically the higher the amount of views you've gotten on your website by somebody is going to very much so dictate the likelihood of them buying. So the more times they visit your website, the more likely they are to buy, and the less times they visit your website, the less likely they are to buy. Now, that's not always the case, but that seems to be the case for us. So let's jump out of contacts now, and this is where all your contacts are going to be, and I'm going to show you guys how to upload contacts and things like that, import specifically, edit properties, restore contacts if anything was accidentally deleted. You can create different views, so if you wanted to create a view of potential sales that have been outreached in a certain period of time, or their prospects or whatever it is, you can go in there, you can create a view. That way you can keep going back to it. So if you know that people really, you don't want to look at the full database, it's a phenomenal way to expedite the process. Very much so, similar thing when it comes to creating companies in here. You can create the company domain name. So we'll just use my old, we'll use the new company name, growthgenerators.com. Map data, 2020 map data. That is not correct. Now, remember, HubSpot's going to do its best to pull the most accurate information, but it's not always perfect. I mean, even when you put in, or when we've put in test data to show other people previously, even if we put in the right information, it might not actually be relevant. Now, if it is a publicly traded company, it is significantly more accurate for whatever reason. Description, resource sucking, collaborating, and idea sharing. I don't really understand where this came from, but this is it just doesn't know yet. And it could be either the formatting of the website or just HubSpot not being able to crawl that website correctly. But I mean, the industries are pretty extensive depending on what you want to do. Phone number, obviously the type, prospect, partner, reseller, vendor, other, city, state. I mean, postal code, number of employees, annual revenue, if you need to know these things, time zone, what time zone they're in. I'm learning that is extremely important for B2B companies that do business outside of their local area. So, for example, we deal with people, we have had everybody from Hawaii all the way up to Maine do business with us. Nobody in Alaska. So if you're in Alaska and you want some digital marketing, by all means, please let us know. Descriptions, LinkedIn company page, and then you can go in and create the company. So for this, I'm literally going to do the bare minimum in here because I just want to show you this page. This is all sample data. Name, company, industry, phone number, company owner, right? Myself, kind of weird because now I'm in here all the time. Type, right? These are all things that you just saw. And the nice part is you can do contact deals, right? You can add a company deal if you're doing a deal directly with a company or you're dealing with a board of people, attachments, related companies, an account overview. So the cool part is if I wanted to attach somebody to this company, I can go in here and I could search my name, Harrison Barron, and because I'm in the other area, now I'm linked to this company, which makes life very easy. So if somebody calls you and says, hey, I'm from Growth Generators, right? Boom, you can see everybody associated with it. So sometimes, more often than not, we get multiple people from one business reaching out because they either want to send us stuff or they're helping, or their CEO has designated a group of people to assist us in our marketing efforts for them. So we can add all those people here. So we're not saying like, hey, who? We already know. And then you have activity, notes, pretty self-explanatory, emails, calls, tasks, meetings. That's it. It just gives you, it's very much so like the contact field. It's just a little bit different fields. Meeting, task, log, call, email, notes, right? Pretty ironic that they're both in two different areas. You also have some actions in here, so you can view all properties. So if there's some data in here that you don't see, you can go in there, view property history, search in Google, restore activity, merge. If there's multiple companies that somebody accidentally entered, you can merge those companies in here. And then if you want to delete the company, typically only the super admin is going to be able to do that. And then we have two more. So we have activity feed. So what's going on as far as things getting done, right? Load older activities. Now, these are all obviously free things or sample things in here, but this will look very different. I personally love it. It's a great place to just go with a one-stop shop. So if you're looking for what's going on, right, load older activities, this is the sample feed. But you could see what's going on, who it is, all that kind of stuff. And then we get to lists. Lists are great. They are basically your email list, which I don't know why they don't say email list, but it's just a list because you can do a variety of different things with them is probably why. And if you already have another software that you deal with, so if you're dealing with Mailchimp or anything like that, you can go in here, you can do that. You can add a file from here. You can view FAQs, download sample spreadsheets, right? So you want to make sure the data looks as good as possible when going in here. In the digital marketing or the programming world specifically, garbage in, garbage out. The better the data that you put in, the better the data that you can get out. So if you put really good, highly accurate data in your system, you're going to get really, really good results out of your system. But if you bought a shady email list or it was, whatever it is, however you acquired it, chances are pretty good you're going to run into some problems down the road, and it's just going to make your life so much easier if you get good data. Now, I understand the nature of the beast is people are not ethical, and they're buying lists and buying people's information. They're going in here, they're adding it, and they're blasting out emails. If you do buy an email list, run it through an email filter at the bare minimum. And I'm not condoning this by any stretch of the imagination. I happen to have a customer of mine who actually, I know him very personally, and he did have all those emails and they were all given to him, but the list was really old. So what we had to do is on our first email send, it triggered a notification in HubSpot that was like, whoa, you guys have way too high of a bounce rate. Bounce rate is tried to go to that email box and it hit and then came back and said, hey, this isn't an existing email box. And it turns out he actually did get all those emails through organic means, just over time, and he never emailed those people. So we had to go through a third-party app to clean out those emails. So in this case, we used Kickbox. It's very cheap. I will actually put it up on the screen right now because it's a phenomenal resource, and we are not partners of theirs. But it's just a way to scrub your email list to make sure that everybody is who they say they are. So connect with your favorite tools, right? And just so you guys can get some pricing, depending on how many people you have. Now, HubSpot does charge $20 per 1,000 people in HubSpot that you're going to be emailing. Keep that in mind. Even if you're on the free version, you do have to increase that if you start to break into those thresholds. You do get a certain amount of emails per month. I think you get 2,000 emails per month on the free version to send. But if you have a couple thousand contacts, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. But this particular person had about 10,000 contacts. And actually, this program knocked it down to about 4,500 he was sitting at, which made our lives much easier. And for the $80 to not deal with the headaches down the road was a game changer. So in here, you're just going to do file from your computer, opt-out list, whatever it may be, and that's where you're going to be able to get your stuff. Now, if you wanted to create a list, you can go in here, create a list, contact-based or company-based. So if you wanted to reach out to a whole company. Now, in here, I'm just going to write friends. And an active list is something that is going to be changing regularly versus a static list, which is static. It doesn't change unless you manually go in and add somebody to it. Personally, for us, we use almost all active lists because it just makes life easier. That people are getting removed from the right lists, they're being added to the right lists constantly, and we do far less work. As your company grows, you're going to realize that active lists and putting in, like I said in the beginning, garbage in, garbage out. If you put in really good information, you're going to get really good information out. So because we've been so meticulous with making sure that our data is as good as possible, it only helps in the long term. So we're going to go in, create a static list, and this is how you can create your list. So active static, you can change it, friends, right? Contact properties, annual revenue is equal to. If you want to do an email list, right? If you want to blast out an email to everybody that you know, right? Email list is known, or their email is known, and you can hit apply filter. Boom, 3 emails on here. It's so easy. It's so easy a caveman can do it. Then you have actions, edit columns, test a contact, move to a folder, clone, delete list, whatever it is, right? So for this, I'm just going to say email is known, but you can even do and or statements. So email is known and, they have a phone number, or and they have this, or if there's not an email, we have a contact, whatever it may be, whatever you choose. Typically for lists, I like doing the email required because that usually means it's better data. And then we're going to hit save. So this list is being processed, might take a few minutes. Because it's only 3 contacts, it should be pretty quick. And this will actually say size of 3 people in here. And if I go back and I remove an email from my contacts, it'll actually, because it's an active list, it will actually remove that person from that list. So in this case, it'll say 3. Right now it's loaded in. And you could do contact list library, company list library, unused contact list. So if you've made a contact list and you just don't use it anymore, you can just throw it in there. But like I said, this is more of a brief overview. Next, we're going to have your inbox. This is a place where you can add a Facebook Messenger, a form, a chat, or an email. You can do some automations in here and things like that. Connect your first channel, right? I'm not going to go into each and every single one of these right now. I'll be doing these in follow-up trainings. But create bots for your Facebook Messenger, manage Messenger, right? This is a new feature. Connect and respond to forums. Connect live chat. Which is something we actually use at our company. So when somebody messages somebody from our website, it shows up here and whoever's online can grab it right away. Manage and respond to emails from your inbox. So if you wanted to drop a full-blown email inbox, or you have like an info at, those seem to do pretty well in here as well. But keep in mind, from what I can see, you can only do 1. We've never been able to figure out how to get more than 1, which I think is required, or only can be done as 1. Chat flows, pretty simple. This is where you're going to be able to do your you're going to need to install your tracking code, but this is where you're going to be able to create your bot. So where is the chat flow going to be? Website Messenger or website? You can set up a chat. They walk you through it pretty well. Got any questions? I'm happy to help. You can change the colors of everything, right? We're going to hit next. Select a team if it's supposed to go to a certain person. Welcome message. Got any questions? I'm happy to help. During business hours, based on team member status. Always, right? And you could set up a responder. So that way, if you don't answer right away, it'll just say, hey, grab my email address. And that seems to be more and more common nowadays. Availability. Don't show a reply time. Replies in a couple minutes. Replies in a couple hours. Outside during business hours. Show return time. I mean, the options are endless. That's Monday through Friday. You can add more hours if you want. You can hit next, what it's going to look like. So this is on the old site, for example. It's just pulling that up right now. And then if you did... verify install. So this is the code that you're actually going to need to put on your website. It's pretty simple, right? In the body tag of your page, if you want to enable HubSpot on. If you have a web developer, so if we are doing it, you can literally email your team member or web developer, need help. What do you need help with? I host on a WordPress website, Wix, whatever it may be. It makes it very, very simple. There really shouldn't be too much in there. And you have to hit verify installation where it's actually going to check to see if that code's on there. For the sake of this exercise, I'm not going to be doing that. Facebook Messenger, right? You'll be able to, and the cool part is you'll be able to see all the bots that you have and really kind of what their response rate is. It is phenomenal. It's also great for, because we are a smaller business. If somebody's not going to make a meeting and they don't know where my phone number is, but they remember the company name, they'll actually send us a message to say, hey, I'm not going to make that meeting, and typically we'll know who it is. Not something that's feasible down the road, but for now it works really well. Snippets are going to be just kind of short little quick segments that you typically send to people. So creative shortcuts, the most common responses in emails sent to your prospects. It's pretty self-explanatory. Initial name, snippet name, and then the shortcut, right? If you're going to be out of the office, out of office, right? And you can personalize these. So, hey, John, thanks for reaching out. Not here right now, or running out for the day. Whatever it is, if you use the same message over and over and over again, this is a phenomenal place to do it. Tremendously helpful. Works very, very well. When you use it right, like I said, garbage in, garbage out. The better you use these, the better it's going to help. Now, in the free version, you do only get 5 templates, but you'll be able to create more from scratch from template library. So they have a whole library of things that you can take, modify, first touch emails, inbound lead from content, follow-up emails, the next step emails, right? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I need to go in here, but you can use these templates. So if you constantly get emails from people or you want to create templates, we get a bunch of leads from a variety of different sources. So we have several different templates that we just use to say, hey, thanks so much for reaching out through this platform. We'll be in touch with you in the next 48 hours or 24 hours, whatever it may be, in there. You do need to upgrade if you want more than 5 templates. Most people, if they're running through these or they're using them a lot, it's a no-brainer just to have everything so you're not digging through your computer trying to find copy and paste stuff. You can create multiple folders, and the more employees that you have, the bigger the company's archives are going to grow, and ultimately almost the easier your life is going to get at some point or another. Then we have marketing. We have ads. You have to connect your accounts. Now, I personally really don't use ads for our business. I have seen some people be really successful using ads on HubSpot. They seem to like it a lot. See a quick demo, create an ad account, right? I'm not going to be creating or adding a ad account or the ad accounts that we manage, but it is very, very simple. The information that you get out of here is great. Just keep in mind, and I'm going to be making a video about this, but there's 3 parts to every ad. You have the actual ad itself, you have the top of the funnel, so what are they actually getting from there, or the copy of that page, and then you have the optimization. So you have to keep going back between the ad and the landing page of where they're going to be going to make sure that you get the best possible results. So when you're creating ads and you're not really getting the traction you want, make sure you look at where they're going afterwards also, and make sure that you're testing that to make sure that it is good as possible. And then ultimately you're going to have emails. So these are going to be your email history in here. You can create a new email, 2,000 emails per month, create 25 static and 5 smart lists, and review basic reporting. Build your brand. If you want to upgrade, right? They always want you to upgrade. They always want you to spend more money. That's just the software world. It's not a stab at them. Their products are phenomenal. We use the paid versions here at the agency, and we help deploy the paid versions typically. But you can go in here, get started. You can integrate with I'm new to email, Mailchimp, another provider. Mailchimp just seems to be the biggest one. You can create an email in here. Chances are pretty good if you're watching this, you've already made an email, so I'm not going to go through this. But if you upgrade to Marketing Starter, they have a whole bunch of templates you could pick from. Typically, we use one of these three. We typically don't use plain email, and newsletter is a little clunky in my opinion. I don't particularly love it. But we'll go in and we usually just completely customize them anyway for our customers. But if you've used any email builder, it'll tell you there. You'll also be able to analyze all your emails that you've sent. So the sent rate, open rate, click-through rate. It's just going to give you good information. It's going to give you better information to make better decisions, to send better messages. Then you're going to have your health. So take control of your email health, see, how you can improve, what's going on and all that kind of stuff to ultimately make your email list better. This is a beta feature. It's new. That means if it's in beta, they're probably rolling it out in the next 6 months or so. So from when you're watching this, if it's 6 months later, if you don't see it, chances are pretty good they never rolled it out. If you do see it, it's probably perfected by then. You're going to have landing pages. You can go in here, build a landing page. I'm not going to show you guys how to build a landing page. That will be on a totally separate video down the road. But a landing page is just a page. It's usually one page where it brings somebody in, gives them the value statements, brings them all the way down the series, and then either it drives them to a sale, to a freebie, or whatever it may be. The nice part about having it in HubSpot is connecting everything makes life a million times easier as opposed to going through WordPress or one of these third-party apps. It makes life so much easier. It's all in one place. Highly, highly recommend it. Let me share my screen again. We then have forms. So these are forms if you want to gather somebody's information. So I've seen people use these forms, everything from onboarding somebody. So you can embed a form on your website, standalone form, pop-up, drop-down banner, slide in right box, slide in left box. It's pretty self-explanatory. We'll do a standalone now just so you can see a form. And this is great. They give you a bunch of different options to choose from, or you can create your own. So registration, contact us, newsletter sign up, support, ebook download, event registration. And you can link all these to multiple options down the road. New template options, lead generation option, job form option, whatever it may be. It just makes life very easy to get customer information. I am starting to go just a little quicker because we're almost done with this at 31 minutes in. Then we have deals. So deals are tremendous. This is if you've used Pipedrive or you've used Salesforce. This does integrate with Salesforce. It is phenomenal in that regard. But essentially, you can have a deal. So this is the deal we actually made earlier in this training, where you have the $5,000 deal, right? And you can say, hey, appointment scheduled. Are they qualified to buy? Did I pre-qualify them? Presentation scheduled. And you could go in and you could change all of these features in here. So you have your border actions. You can sort, export, view, edit cards. You can go in here. You can edit pretty much anything that you would see in here. And this is mainly going to be in your settings icon up here. And I will get to this probably in a different training just because this is a lot. I believe this is the card. So you have default, you have compact. Makes your life a little easier. Typically, I'll do compact. I really don't always do default. Display associated contact details, time without activity, inactive cards. It'll just give you all that information in here. You can also look at it as a list. I don't know why anybody would. We typically look at it like this. And then we can see where things are. Why are they in this section? Why are they in this section? You can modify, like I said, all of these. Deal owner, right? Who's got deals on their plate? Create date. If you're the CEO and you have 5 or 6 salespeople underneath you, it's a phenomenal way to see the numbers the numbers that nobody else can see, and then you can make sure that each person can see only specifically what they're responsible for in the deals that they're working on. Then you have tasks. So this is only you could either set it for due today, overdue, upcoming, most engaged, completed, or all the tasks happening. Once again, this will be very subjective to who's looking at it and their role in the company. So as the business owner, you can go and you can see all the tasks that have to get done for the day. It's great to follow up. Most salespeople actually don't follow up with their sales. So just by creating a task to follow up will make you more profitable. I know it sounds crazy, but there it is, right? There's the follow-up we made earlier in the training where, okay, I need to go follow up. There's a task follow-up, Brian Halligan, right? Complete, reschedule, right? So in this case, I'm going to hit complete. Perfect. It's now done. And then when I go over back to tasks, it should say completed. Wow, look at that. It's gone. That's amazing. Completed. And there it is, right? Follow up with Brian. It's all done. Task performance, what I'm working on, feed, schedule. These are all I don't want to say very new, but it's cool to see because this used to not be a thing not all that long ago, but it was already a very robust system. But you could see, activity, or better yet, all your tasks, start a task, create a task. This is not going to allow you to reach more prospects in record time, upgrade to sales starter, right? They always want you to upgrade. Edit columns, if you want to adjust these columns to say different things, status, title, association, last contacted, and those columns would be these right here. So pretty self-explanatory what team member you're looking at, more filters if you want to look at it for the day, for the week, for the month, but that's tasks for you. All right, so I'm going to take a break here on the second part of sales, and then on the second training, which is going to be following this, you will be able to see everything from documents, meetings, quotes, and so far on down the list. So this is the first part of the series. I hope you guys found value in this. There will be a link directly that side, I think it's going to be that side, to the next training. So definitely go check that out. And we're going to be putting out a bunch more of these videos, a bunch of free trainings for you guys to go through. But like I said, I'm just trying to break them up into about half-hour segments, so at least they're a little bit digestible. If you've gone through this far and you're either sold in the product or you like it, and I'm not trying to sell you, go to HubSpot. Go check it out. If you need help, leave a comment down below. We're happy to help you in that regard. So that's it. Thanks for visiting this training. We're going to see you in the second part. You should watch the second part. Also, the link for the second part is going to be in the description down below as well. So go check that out, and we'll see you guys over there.